I found a little secluded spot to make tonight's video, but it's probably still going to be loud. But it might not be because I have a really nice mic. But today was a pretty good day. We went kayaking and found a island that has a crap ton of sea glass. They used to dump glass there in the 50s, and then over the course of the last, 70 decades, almost a century, they started to see glass and got washed back ashore. So that was really cool. It's gonna make me ungrateful for all sea glass I find in the future because I saw like 3 million pieces of sea glass today. So much so that I was walking through sea glass to find rocks. But besides that, didn't do much. I went to see a movie that came out, a good book that I've read numerous times. Probably my favorite book, Project Hail Mary. It's a good fiction book on. I think it's actually the number one book on Audible. But movie came out tonight. Went to see that. But otherwise, with regards to anything business related, made a little bit of progress with the app. Problem's still not fixed. I'm starting to run into more logistical issues, but the fix that I have right now is basically if a user, for context, it's a grocery app that lets you take pictures of your grocery list or just add a grocery list basically. And it'll find the cheapest stores of the ones that you've selected or the ones closest to find all of those items with a max of 3 stores because nobody really wants to go to more than 3 stores. And it saves you upwards of 20 to 25% on groceries. So if you're spending $500 a month, it will save you $100 each month, which is very, very, very good, especially for me. Like I'm on a budget in college, but yeah. So the problem that I was running into is basically if two people type chocolate for one person, they might mean something completely different, such as chocolate syrup, and the other person might mean something specific, like a family size Hershey's chocolate bar. And the problem is we have no way to differentiate that because we can't read their minds. And so the best solution I had was basically when a user types something, I send it off quickly to a very tiny AI model that basically just checks some criteria of is this specific enough that if you gave it to somebody else as a grocery item to go get you, could they actually find it in the grocery store? If the answer is no, it will send back and then a pop-up will appear for the user that says pretty much exactly that. It's, hey, this wasn't seemed specific enough. Please type it in as if it was somebody else that you were talking to ask them to go get that grocery item for you. Then it'll allow you to re-input it. It'll check the item again. If it passes, then it will actually run the search query to go find the price of the item at the 3 stores that you have selected. And what that does is it kind of helps to force users to be more specific, which makes the results more accurate. So that does kind of fix the problem that I was having with regards to two people will say the same thing but mean two different things. Just forces them to be more specific, basically. And then over time, the goal is basically that you prompt the user enough times to, hey, be more specific. They're going to get pissed and either stop using the app, which I can't do much about, or they're going to remember and they're going to start being specific every single time they add the groceries. And then they won't have to get that prompt anymore. It'll be more accurate. Everybody wins. But the problem that then arises is quantities and units, basically, which I think I can solve the problem. I think it seems a little bit simpler than this other one, but basically, imagine you have 3 different stores and you're getting bananas. So say you put in your grocery list something specific, such as 6 organic bananas. That's about as specific as you need to be. Another example of the specificity that I need is instead of saying beer, nobody would know what that means. You can get 1,001 different beers. Instead, you say 12-pack of medium-sized Bud Lights. That's specific enough to get a good search result. Now, the issue arises with things like bananas because Whole Foods is a store that's near me, sells bananas by the pound or per unit. I don't remember which one. We'll use something else then. Publix sells them by pound versus Trader Joe's is another store that I go to, sells them per unit. And so when AI searches the price of 6 organic bananas to find the cheapest one, it's going to come back with, oh, what's the price at Trader Joe's? Oh, well, it's 23 cents per banana. And then it's going to come back for Publix, oh, it's 79 cents per pound. But the AI is not taking into account because they're two separate API calls to the AI. And so each AI doesn't know what the unit was at the other stores. And there's, I guess, a couple of ways to figure that out, but it doesn't really fully help. So it requires some standardizing. And so basically the problem is AI will look at 29 per and then 79 cents a pound, and it'll automatically say, oh, Trader Joe's is cheaper because it's 29 versus 79. But the reality is you actually did the math on it. It's actually cheaper to go to Publix and get them for 79 cents a pound, since a pound of bananas equates to less than 29 cents per. And so that's kind of where you get it, is the real cheaper price was at the opposite store, purely because the units were different. And so the magnitude was all the AI saw, and it gets confused. No, the only way around this is to have a average weight of a banana in the database, so that then when AI queries it, they come back with two different answers. Then they compare it or standardize the unit. Okay, what is the standard unit we want? We want per quantity. So Trader Joe's returns 23 cents per banana. That's what we want. But Publix returns 79 cents per pound. Well, we need to convert that from per pound to per unit, so we can find out if the average banana is half a pound, then we get two bananas for the 79 cents. So we do the 79 divided by 2, which is going to give you, what, 35, 36, so 37, 38.5, 39? I don't know. I'm on vacation, but somewhere around that. I think the answer is actually 39.5. So it would give you 39.5, which is more expensive, so it would return Trader Joe's. But what it's now done is it's standardized units. Sounds like a good solution to the problem. But where it gets more nuanced is the fact that this needs to be scalable, and I can't go in for every single item that has that case like bananas do and put the average weight per banana on every single item. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to create another step which adds even more delay on the response, that basically makes AI find a standardized response. And so when the user puts in bananas, it will figure out, okay, is this specific enough? So if they just say bananas, it'll say, hey, you need more specificity. And so you put 6 organic bananas. Okay, it checks through. But now it takes 6 organic bananas and it goes and prompts another AI and is like, hey, what's a standardized unit? Here's the standardized unit we can use for bananas, say per unit. So then it'll prompt that, it'll add that to the database, and then it will search query at each of the stores. Okay, what is the price per unit of bananas at this store, and this store? And then it will probably still be incorrect and will still return the weight per pound. But if that is the case and it doesn't work, then I'll have to add another step that basically makes the AI return not just the price, but the unit. So instead of just returning 79 cents, it says 79 cents units pounds, and then the other one will say 29 cents units each. And then it will take that, it'll compare, have AI compare them, realize they're not the same, and then it will search again to standardize that. So the problem where that gets more nuanced is too many search queries means I'm running on my AI cost, and AI cost is wicked expensive. So I'll play with it more tomorrow, but I'm making decent progress. It's just not where I want to be, because I want the app to be as fluid as possible. And when I run into things like this, it makes it seem impossible, which decreases morale, because as I get more and more tired of making this thing, the more I feel like no people are going to use it, which I think everybody fears, and that's why they quit. But I think I would use it, and that was the reason why I made it in the first place. And so I just have to do a good job to stick to it, even though I might have become so familiar with how it works and what it doesn't work on that I start to lose hope in it. The reality is the only reason I'm that way is because I'm spending way too many hours staring at the screen trying to make it work, and it's just pissing me off and making me get used to the app and tired of the app. And when I'm tired of it, I lose sight of the actual utility that it serves. So yeah, basically just have to push through it. But I think sometime tomorrow we're going out on the road all day, so I won't be able to do anything. But after tomorrow, when I get back in the swing of things, I leave in 2 days or 3 days. Get back to the swing of things, I'm confident that I can get the app sorted out and go from there. But yeah, it's getting complicated. This is the hardest part, though. If I make it through this, then the rest of the app should be really easy. I have the subscription fully working and all other functionalities fully functional. The only thing I want to add is referrals. So if you send the app to a friend and they download it, you get 10% off of your next month's subscription. So if you tend to send it to 10 friends, the next month is free. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. I will keep you guys updated. Once this app is done and in the App Store, I will do a full launch video on what I did, how the app works, show you the actual app. Probably will link it in the description. I will also probably show you, like, you guys will be my beta testers, so I'll post the link to TestFlight to download, to beta test it in the description, and then you'll have an inside view of it. We can chat more about that. And then once all of that passes, we'll start building an app together. And so estimated timeline is probably a month, maybe 2, because I have to do testing until I start a new project. But once I start the new project, we'll do it together, and I'll show you step by step, walk you through what I do, troubleshooting and everything. So yeah, that's it, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.